Welcome. Not every day you get an exclusive thing to share about a song that nobody else has seen before. This is somebody that I used to know by Gautier, an Australian gentleman named Wally. And he was in a band called The Basics back in the day, and he's been pumping it for years in the scene. And he scored this home run with this track called Somebody That I Used to Know, which apparently he recorded at his parents' place down in the Mornington Peninsula. Peninsula. He recorded at his parents' place down in the Mornington Peninsula. And he really knocked it out of the park. He cleaned up. And like I'm always saying, you only need one. It only takes one hit to do it. And Wally did it. He did it. He got the hit. And, I don't know what he's been up to since 2011, but I would imagine it'd be Lamborghinis and islands, because I'm pretty sure this track made a lot of money. Wow, what a huge success. Really cool. Now, I'll just jump into this exclusive thing because it'll make sense as we go along. And if you are watching, maybe I'll share it a little bit further on in the thingo. But basically, a friend of mine is just one of those talented runabouts who just gets up to kind of weird shit. And at that time, the lady who was directing the Gautier video clip contacted him because she had done some work with my friend Rob before. Natasha Pincus was the person who directed it, and Warwick Field, her partner, and he was a cinematographer, worked with Steven Spielberg and Jim Holmberg on the fellow clip. More importantly, Jim Holmberg on the fellow clip than Steven Spielberg. And also the body painter is Emma Hack, the person who painted Wally's body for the video. There were a couple of other people doing makeup, but there were probably just 6 people. Now, what I'm talking about here is the video clip. So a friend of mine managed to get wrangled into helping film the video clip for this song that turned out to be a massive hit. So Rob has been very gracious to share with me a few images that have been unseen until now. Because they're his personal images. They're from his little collection. I'll share that one last, I think. I'll put that there until that comes up. Okay, here we go. A couple of pictures. So I'll move over to the other screen. Let's check these out. So here's a picture of Wally getting painted up by Emma. It's come through the phone, so it looks a bit whack, but he's just hanging out there doing his thing. And then what's the other picture? Okay, this is another picture of behind the scenes when they were filming this against this wall, and again, it's a little bit compressed, but that's fuzzy-haired gentleman in the background is my friend Rob, and he's having a good time there. He was the stop-motion camera operator on this particular video clip. So I asked Rob what he did on it because I heard he'd worked on it. And he goes, oh, well, you know how, like, there's stop-motion in it. He's like, every time you see it and their bodies are all moving wacky and shit like that, he goes, that's when I was getting really tired and I couldn't be fucked lining to shut up correctly to hit the button to go off. Turned out to be one of the quirks of the entire clip, which I think contributed to its overall success as a piece of work. Really cool. And then this is one of my favourite photos. This is Rob with Wally. The story behind this one is, Rob, can you stand in for Kimbra? And it was a long-ass day, and he got up there, and he's get the fingers up, and Wally goes, yeah, I can get in on that. And they start flipping off the camera. But yeah, Rob and Wally having a good time. What a huge hit. That's why we're checking it out. It's somebody that I used to know by Gautier. What a massive Australian hit. This guy is the reason... So I'm pointing to the wrong side because you guys are looking at the other side. This guy opened up the arts in a big way when he came out, like it wasn't already, but like people were going, okay, you guys are funding sports teams. Look what this sports teams, by the way, that weren't doing too great nationally, internationally. You're funding Olympic teams that are flopping. This guy in his parents' sunroom put out something that generated more money for the country than these sports teams that they had been funding, and that all these things attached to them. I'm not going to comment on that, but look what Wally did by himself with Kimbra. Let's not say by himself. Kimbra, go and check out some of Kimbra stuff. If you didn't know any of Kimbra's stuff before, she's got some mad skills. She's got some mad shit going on. You should go and have a look at what she's up to. It's great. And also check out Gautier pre this as well, because there's some really solid stuff in there as well. But we're looking at this one because it's huge. And there's also a really cool synthwave version of it somewhere, which I might, drop a link to at some stage. Okay, enough of the bullshit. Here we are checking out this amazing session, which is very well zeroed. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Of somebody that I used to know. Let's try not to get sued by the Girl Scouts or whoever owns Baa Baa Black Sheep. Let's check out the bass. Pretty straightforward. Okay, stereo. Let's move to the next section. You can see that happening here. Maybe he's had another take of that, and that's why it's slightly larger, because the volume wasn't exact. Okay, move to this. This is obviously a chorus. Wow, much bigger. Yeah. What a simple thing. Yep. Isn't that great? That you can see this is more percussive over here in the verses, with a big with long tails and big sort of transients at the start, whereas the next one all seems very drawn out, looking like a real bass there. It's got that sustain going on. And then what's this little section? Another verse? Even quieter. Interesting. Let's give that a look on the grand scale. Let's have a look at it a little. Okay. Even smaller than, if you can see, this first verse here is quite light on, and then the second half of that verse is a little bigger. But this is really quiet here. I wonder why. Oversight? Who knows? Yeah, hit it real hard. I like that, playing with volume inside the track. Just really playing with the I don't know if you could hear it over the top of that. Playing with the volume inside the track and inside the actual tracking is an interesting thing too. Just dynamics have to happen. I think we know how that goes for the rest of the song. Yeah, we're pretty much what we are led to expect. Okay. There's a shaker in here. We can see there's a little bit of shaker in here. It literally happens for a small moment towards the end. It's called the Black Shaker. I guess it was probably a minor double. Let's hear it. Sounds familiar. Let's see if it sounds like my Black Shaker. No, he sounds coarser. No, he's got better rhythm. Bye bye Black Shaker. Cool track. Bongos. Did I pick bongos out of this? I don't know. Actually, I enjoy this song. This is on a few playlists. I never picked that out. Okay, we get that. Next section. Okay. All right, we get what's going on there. There's nothing too exciting. But once we put all these things together, it becomes a massive hit. Boofy drums. Okay. I like that. Now, we're talking about a guy who's not afraid to experiment. On a tour with the Basics, Gautier would go around with his handy recorder and a microphone and record stuff like strings on, the metal strings on a fence and stuff like that, the way they did the Star Wars noises, and put all these really strange things into these tracks and come up with amazing stuff when you put it together. That's familiar. We know about that. We know what that is. We'll get back to the start here. Chucks. They almost sound like cut samples. When you think of something that's actually would be so easy to play, you wonder why people sample it, but there's a quality that you can get from that you just can't get from playing it. I mean, I'm not going to be a snob about it. I'd probably just play it. But that's definitely at least gated like a mofo. Let's have a deep look. Let's have a real big dive in. No, that's got to be sampled. I mean, we're talking about a lot of reverb here to kind of blend this together. But I think we might have a very cool sample there. And he probably recorded that himself because he records a lot of his own samples. Okay, well, I think we kind of get what's going on here. Yeah, cool. We pretty much know what's happening there. Dub guitar. Okay. All right, interesting. Wow. Wouldn't have picked that out on my own, listening to the entire song. Now, there was a track I missed you will have noticed. I'm going to go to that too. It's just called Auto Harp 01, and it's because there's only 2 notes. Enthralling. It's the same bloody note again. And then there's a little tiny piece at the end here. I'm sticking around for that. What is it? Oh, it's just some chair rattle. There's the auto harp track. Okay, move back down. Chuck's dub guitar. Now, flutes. I wasn't aware of flutes. Let's find out what flutes sound like in it. Somebody wants to know. Oh, that's great. Synth flute. It's like panpipes. Move up to the next section. What do we got? Okay. Interesting. You didn't have to cut me off. Yeah. All right. Funk guitar. Let's go all the way back. Interesting. By the way, those flutes probably a software instrument, but I think they sound really cool. But then again, we're dealing with Gautier here, so who knows? He could have sampled them himself and used them. Interesting. I'm interested in seeing why they go so loud towards the end. So, and they're panned left. These are a stem. Well, one sec. So now let me refine this one a little bit. These are a stem, yes, but they're more of a printed mix. So basically, each individual track is still a multi-track, but to avoid people miscommunicating where the spatial awareness, the spatial field is all the panning, right? So they've printed all the panning and the effects into the track. So they've basically taken that funk guitar, which would have existed on a mono track right up the guts, and they've gone, well, actually, it's in the main mix, it's panned slightly to one side, and it's got these effects on it. So they print that one down, printed, and now it's a stereo file of its own. Same with the flutes, same with the guitar, same with the chuck, same with everything. It's printed down to a stereo file. So when you layer all these stereo files together, in theory, you should have something that resembles the same mix. In my experience, that's rare. I think that there are levels that still need to be done, like just volume, but that's the basic idea of how that should work. Kick. Now, I haven't changed the order of any of this, by the way, so this is just as it was delivered. Let's hear what the kick drum sounds like in this song. And you can see it comes in through halfway through the song, right? Get rid of that artificial size. Okay. Alright, so they look pretty big. They've got, reverb on a kick is sort of a bit of a faux pas. But let's hear and see. So tons of like that 50 to 100 hump. A little bit around 300. You can see it's kind of like compressed off. Yeah, right. Okay, so that's interesting. None of that ugly sound. So yeah, wonder what he's used on the kick drum there. Let's get rid of that EQ. Now, I'm not going to give you Kimbra's vocals just quite yet. What I would like to do, though, is go through the Latin groove. And I might move Kimbra just down to the bottom with the rest of the vocals, where I imagine they're down there. I suppose we haven't heard them yet. Cool. Xylophone, that's the contentious issue, that one. Latin groove, pan to the left. Left, pan to the right. Right. Okay. Interesting. There's a lot of cowbell and a little bit of other stuff that's going on in there. Jeremy Collard, you did miss the bass analysis. Let me just go right up there real quick for you, just while you're here. So bass, we got the first verse, really kind of plucky. Second half of this, same, but it's been an overdub taken up slightly. Then you got these choruses, which are big, drawn-out, fat notes with a bit of growl. And some cowbell, evidently. And then back to the pluck, and then we go straight through. Boom, get ready for it. That one was just for you, Jeremy, so you're welcome. So back to this Latin groove. Light shaker. I like a little bit of light shaker. There's two sections of light shaker, baby. Let's check it out. Oh, it's very light. Maybe he was using my black shaker. No, it doesn't sound the same. Shakers, if you ever want to do your head in, get into shakers, get into percussion, because the sounds are so different. You can never be happy. Okay, so there's some light shaker. That looks like it's way off at the back half there, but I don't know. It seems to fit. Okay, low guitar. Very interesting. Let's check it out. Damn. That's a sample. Out of context, these things sound nothing like somebody that I used to know. Man. So strange to hear this. You would never hear that and go, oh yeah, that's from somebody that I used to know by Gautier. That's really, really strange. Nylon guitar, I think we will get this because this is, the main, all the way through the track. We know this. That's a loop. Definitely a loop. Now, Chuck. I want to bring that Chuck track down. Chucks. Because I feel like that Chuck's track is taken from this nylon guitar loop. Let's find out. I gotta stop saying that. I'm not Varg. Oh no. A different thing completely. I've gone crazy. Very cool. Yeah, together it sounds like one guitar part. Very cool, very cool. It gets up to this chorus. It's just louder. So they've printed a bit of the volume in here. This contributes to the overall dynamics of the track by having that louder. Really, really cool. I think we all know what's going to happen there. Let's try this last piece. A bit of volume again. Alright. And then... Okay, Piz. I love a bit of a Piz here and there. We're remixing tonight. This is what we're going to do. My job tonight is after this to go and remix this song just using this bit and a drum beat. Yeah, yeah. How good is just saying yeah and over stuff? Every rapper. Okay. The synth part. Famous. Love to know what he used. Pretty safe to say he used reverb. Some mighty reverb going on. Wow. That's so cool to hear that on its own, but nothing so far has sounded like, besides the guitar riff, nothing so far has sounded like the song as a whole. Very interesting. I love it when you put things out of context and then when they become a clear picture, they become great. The tango drums. You could dance to that. Very raunchy tango drums. I'm just having a quick look ahead here. We'll go for that wobbly guitar and the xylophone while we're listening, because then that won't spoil our backing vocals. Okay. Let's build it up, I think. Let's build it up. What should we have in this? Go back here. Let's give everything a run. So far, nothing really. Where's that bass coming from? If we take all that away, we don't have somebody that I used to know. We have something else completely. But as soon as you add the bass in, without bass, with bass. Oh, there you are. Add that funk guitar, low guitar, chucks. There it's starting to come together. And that's the song. That's how you know the song. There's a couple of elements there that really come together to give you the payoff of the recognisable part. Wobbly guitar I didn't look at yet. Let's hear it. Oh, great. That's so good. It's got to be a keys part. For sure, absolute keys part. Different volume here. And then with this impactful, you've cranked it. And then... Okay, we get it. Now, also here, this is the contentious part. I believe there was some kind of lawsuit over this. I don't know. Can't comment on exactly what happened, but somebody cracked it about. Or maybe I'm thinking of Land Down Under, but this is like that Bar Bar Black Sheep thing, which to me sounds like, I mean, it sounds, yeah, but it's a different key or something, isn't it? I don't know. Listen to this. I mean, yeah, it's that. But do I care? Probably not. No. But then again, when people see how successful this is and how much cash that was made off it, they're like, I want a piece of that. How come Black Sheep or whatever isn't making that much cash? Is that a different key to the start? No, it's the same. It's so little sustain in that you can tell it's like a toy one. Sounds cool though. That's how you make a massive hit, isn't it? So I'm gonna show those photos again, just because there's a few people in the live stream that are checking it out. And if you're not in the live stream, you're watching on YouTube, please do remember to subscribe and also skip through about 30 seconds to avoid all the shit you've already seen. But essentially, we've got a couple of behind the scenes pictures from the shooting of the video, where a friend of mine was the stop motion animator for that. So there's a picture of old mate Wally Gautier getting painted by Emma, the artist. Sorry about the quality of that. And then there's another picture there of Emma, the artist, and Wally in the background there, and then Rob and another gentleman here whose name I've forgotten. I'm so sorry. But yeah, they're hanging out there painting in some room in Melbourne. Turned out that was going to become the biggest song in the world for that period of time. And then my favourite picture of all the guys, of my mate Rob, who was the stop motion animator there, with Wally after a long day of shooting. Rob standing for Kimbra, I believe was the line, and Rob's like, you can see he's cooked, he's tired, he's having a bit of a tired day, and Wally's like, yeah, I can get in on that. Thanks so much, Rob, for letting us share your story, because that's really, really cool. How often do you get paid in sandwiches and beers to create the greatest video clip of 2011? The unsung hero, I mean, you know, these are the guys who, well, you were hired help and you knew your job, understandably, but these are the thing is there's guys out there who are doing this work for peanuts, sometimes literally, to help out, to make great art, and Rob's a great supporter of those things for those people. Yeah, really, really amazing that we got the opportunity to check those out. This is also the part where we go over to the vocal track. I'll just check the stream just for those in the live one to see if we haven't been shut off yet. We're still going, which is really good. So yeah, if you're watching these on YouTube, which they are all going on YouTube, do subscribe to those ones. But until then, they are just going live on Facebook. Come over and have a look at these vocal tracks. Wally BV Stems Dry and Wally BV Stems Wet. Now, I have it on good authority from my old mate Rob, the stop motion operator, that over working a nearly 12-hour day, or probably longer. I haven't actually asked that. Rob, if you're in the comments, tell us how long you were there. Apparently, Wally had recorded a separate track, like a bus with, a duplicate. I'm having a beer, so I'm burping, with auto-tune on that to thicken it up and a few other effects. But there is two stems here. One's a dry and one's a wet. So I wonder which one is which. I think we should go to the verse first. Let's just check out the dry vocal take.
Now and then I think of when we were together, like when you said you felt so happy you could die. I told myself that you were right for me, but felt so lonely in your company. But that was love and it's an ache I still remember.
This would have to be probably one of the most pleasing isolated vocal takes that I've heard in all 22 episodes of this so far. That is crisp and clear and lovely. I don't know what he used. I like to think he used one of our Australian-made Rode microphones. Yeah, perhaps the NT2 or the NTK. I don't know what he used, but that sounds crisp and clear and concise and clean. And I understand it's right up in the microphone and he's singing. But it sounds crisp, sounds clean. I didn't look at that and go, oh, I need to add some top end because I've got no hearing. So let's listen to it and see if we need to add anything. See what's actually the track's being made up of.
You can get addicted
look at that.
to a certain kind of sadness.
See this little bit of a bulge up between the 4 and 10K?
Like resignation to the end, always the end. So when we found that we could not make sense, well, you said that we would still be friends. But I'll admit that I was glad it was over.
Wow, chorus time.
You didn't have to cut me off.
Yes!
Make out like it never happened and that we were nothing. And I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger and that feels so rough. No, you didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. I guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Far out. What a ripping chorus, man.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Man, that is fat. Any wonder this guy, Grammy time.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Imagine hearing this on the street, like he was just busking it and just pumped this out. You'd shit your pants. I mean, probably. Sorry, guys, just crudelity. Crudelity. Well, now that we've got a bit of a look at that for a verse and a chorus, let's check out the wet stem, because this has got. I had a quick peek. This has got some reverb happening. Let's check it out.
Now and then I think of when we were together.
So it remains. Did they blend the two together, or?
Like when you said you felt so happy you could die.
If you go and listen to the track, you can hear it's dry.
Told myself that you were right for me,
but
felt so lonely in your company.
There's a lot of reverb going on.
Love and it's an ache I still remember.
So it's possible that some of that reverb is just getting soaked up by the rest of the track and you don't hear it, and maybe the dry track's just there for the sake of being there for remixes maybe. And then you've got the wet stem there, which was the actual stem used for the mix, the actual thing. So maybe we'll skip the next verse and we'll go straight to the chorus and just have a listen, because he's obviously doubled it up and then they've printed it down to a stereo track for the vocals. But maybe that dry stem was sent out to people to remix, because there are remixes of this. There's a really, really super cool synthwave version that just keeps going missing somehow, but it's fantastic, and they used KEXP live video footage to make this fantastic video clip. I have to show you this before we go. Check this out, this wet vocal take for the chorus.
You didn't have to cut me off, make out like it never happened and that we were nothing. And I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger and that feels so rough. No, you didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. I guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Man, makes you want to just shout, doesn't it?
Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Somebody! I know that's you, somebody. Know that I could use somebody.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
And then comes in Kimbra's section, but I also want to just go up to the Wally section here. Wally stems dry backing vocals, because they come in on this chorus. Let's hear them, and then I'll add the two together. Far out. I can't even hang on. I wasn't ready for that. Jeez. Oh, I think I'm going to I think I'm going to feel something special when that reverb comes in. I love a good backing stack. Fuck. Yes, thank you. Oh, man, I love a bit of that. That's delicious.
I used to know
Wow, that's nice.
that I used to know. I used to know that I used to know. I used to know
Wow.
that I used to know. I used to know.
Wow, 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 wow. Let's hear that with the other dry. No, we'll hear the wet version first. Okay. Brace yourselves, guys. We're about to get reverbed out of existence. Creeping. Ah. Yes. I love that. I love hearing a good vocal with it. Oh, come on. All right, we're doing it. Let's go.
I used to know.
Oh, no, I'll go straight back.
But you didn't have to cut me off. Make out like it never happened, but now we were nothing. And I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger, and I feel so rough.
Yes.
No, you didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. I guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Wow, look at...
I used to know.
It's so fat.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Isn't that gorgeous?
I used to know. Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
And we haven't even got to the best part yet. We've still got Kimbra's vocals to go. Rob is in the chat in the session. So Rob, if you're watching, which it says you are, let us know how long you worked on this clip with, because I've put up the picture of you with Wally. And here we go. This picture here. It's my favorite. That's my favorite photo of all time of Rob with Wally Gautier on the set of the video. Let us know how long you worked on the clip for, man, because I'm bragging. I'm very proud of my boy. Rob worked on the clip as a camera operator for stop motion. So all of that wacky stop motion happened by this little fuzzy head bastard over the back here. Sorry about the quality of that picture. It came through Messenger. And then there was another photo here of Wally getting painted up by Emma, the artist. So, yeah, what a cool time to work on a cool video clip, 2011, after working with the director on a clip for Rob's band at the time, Fellow. How long did you work on the clip? Let's see if you've said it in the chat yet. Wow. No, that wasn't him. That was Rach. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll get back over and check out Kimbra's dry vocal track, and we will enjoy a bit of that, because what a talent is Kimbra.
Now and then I think of all the times you screwed me over, but in me believing it was always something that I'd done. But I don't want to live that way, reading into every word you say. You said that you could let it go, and I wouldn't catch you hung up on somebody that you used to know.
Fuck me dead in a barbed wire canoe. Sorry, that hit me. That hit me right in the feels. Listen to that.
Somebody that you used to know.
Holy shit. I didn't take those out. I'm sorry, guys. I get a bit excited about stuff. Woof. All right.
Somebody.
Okay. I used to know.
Somebody.
It's dry, so we'll put the dry back
No.
up.
Somebody.
I used to know
Somebody.
Yeah.
that I used to know.
I can tell you right now, this definitely ain't mixed for levels because Kimbra's vocals are not that quiet in the overall mix. But she doesn't have a big thing. She got one verse here and a little bit there, but what an impact she had in this track. Okay, here's the wet stem, which is going to be full of reverb, so enjoy it even more. Oh, we've definitely been hit now. All the viewers have gone away. So I don't think you can comment back on here, but if you're still there, yeah, we've been blocked. We'll resume the video, we'll continue, and hopefully everybody can still enjoy themselves, and the owner of the copyright can oversee that we are checking out some things for educational purposes to learn how to make our own hit, because if Wally can do it, so can you. Welcome to Broden Minogue's Hit Factory. All it takes is one. Kimbra.
Now and then I think of all the times you screwed me over, but in me believing it was always something that I'd done. But I don't want to live that way, reading into every word you say. You said that you could let it go, and I wouldn't catch you hung up on somebody that you used to know.
Ah, that blows me sideways. That's so good. This vocal at the start does start off a little kind of like timbrely dark. Listen.
Now and then I think of all.
Lots of 400 you can see, and then not a whole lot where Wally had a lot between 4 and 10.
All the times you screwed me over.
A little bit happening there on the sibilant parts.
But in me believing it was always something that I'd done.
Still, what a siren. So good.
But I don't want to live that way, reading into every word you say.
She turns
You
into
said
it.
that you could let it go,
We're starting to pick it up.
and I wouldn't catch you hung up on somebody that you used to know.
It's almost like she was turning off the side a little bit and singing this part, and then bringing it back in so you can hear all the top end fly through. Brilliant. I just realized, talking about it all night with Rob, but I just realized, of course, Rob got to meet Kimbra at the same time as he met Gautier. How sick is that? Wow. All right. Now, this is the reason that we got struck just then, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want to listen to this chorus with everybody in it. And all their wet takes too. And I know this is the part where they tell you're reproducing our work or whatever. I'm not. I'm separating your work, and I want everyone to hear how good it is because it's great.
But you didn't have to cut me off, make out like it never happened, but now we were nothing. And I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger, and that feels so rough. No, you didn't have to stoop so low, have your friends collect your records and then change your number. I guess that I don't need that though. Now you're just somebody that I used to
Kimbra.
know.
Somebody,
I used to know.
somebody,
Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
somebody,
I used to know.
somebody.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
Wow.
I used to know.
Oh, we're not done. This is so cool.
That I used to know.
Kimbra's got a final note here.
I used to know somebody.
Oh, wow. That's sick. That's so sick. Let's piece it together. Let's piece it together from the top, from the weird tracks. I mean, we've got to hear this auto harp part again. Thank you very much. What a banger. Let's pump it in track by track from the start. Let's see if there's anything important that I need to kind of add. But we'll make that juicy so we can see. Yeah, I think we need to go. Let's stuff it. Let's just go and start dropping things in. Okay. Chucks. Take that out because it's unrecognisable until those bits start to come in. That's the bit. Okay. I want to hear Wally sing it.
Together.
Or do you want to hear it dry or wet?
Like when you said you felt so happy you
Phases when they're together. I like it dry actually there.
I told myself that you were right for me, but felt so lonely in your company. But That was love.
Yes.
To make us still remember.
It's got you hanging on, doesn't it? Like, it makes you want to listen, like, what's going to happen next? He's telling this story, and I like it dry there because it kind of gives you a little bit more like he's there with you, and he's in your ear, and then I'll reckon... Let's take it all off. Let's take it all off! Wait, did I miss something? I missed something. There's a whole set of stems. I didn't listen to this. What's this? BV Stems 1 dry.
Cut me off.
I didn't hear that. What? How did I miss that? I'm so sorry. We got way ahead. What's going on here?
Cut me off.
I like that.
Need your love.
I like that too.
Stoop so low.
Even though it's the same, I like it.
Somebody that I used to know. Somebody
Really compressed, driven.
used to know. Somebody that I used to know.
Okay, that's cool. Let's hear it wet. I want to hear that last section in with reverb.
Somebody
Big. I'm bringing it back.
used to know. Somebody used to know.
Yes.
Somebody that I used to know. Stoop so low.
Very cool. When I play these together, they actually phase
Stoop so low.
because all the other tracks do it. For example, they're so loud. They are so loud. Yeah, whoosh. Okay. All right. Well, now we've seen them. Okay, let's get back in and.
So low.
Fuck, that's loud.
Every word you say.
Timber.
You said that you could let it go, and I wouldn't catch you hung up on somebody that you used to know.
Didn't have to cut me
Oh,
off. Think I like it never happened. That we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger, and I feel so rough. You didn't have to stoop so low. Have your friends collect your records and then change your number. Guess that I don't need that.
shut up and sing it.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Somebody.
That's it. I can't do any more. I'm going to go and listen to it a bunch of times. If you do get a chance to check out, there's a synthwave sort of version of this same song, which is great. I'm gonna you're gonna hear it before I leave. It is so good. Tronic Box made this track. I'm putting it on. I'll just pop over to the window real quick. Listen to that. Look at it. This is from the KPX or what is it? And they look like the Stranger Things kids, which is hilarious. This is sick. This is my favourite version of this track. Kind of sadness. I like this version better than the original. I'm sad to say, but that's the single coolest thing in the world. The other thing is, if you go and check out the original video, you can see. I'm going to mute this so that we don't overstep the mark or whatever. But you can see this is the room in which it's very red, from what I remember. Rob did all this work, old mate. So just get ready for this. Hang on, we'll turn that off. All of that video work there, Rob had done with his thumb, just or however they do it these days. Go back. Let's see all of that cool shit, and then when it crawls up Wally's body, every time his body moves, that's the time that Rob was like, "Fuck it, it's just close enough." Boom, 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 boom. So, well, there you go. There's that video clip. There is the song, Somebody That I Used to Know. Thanks for sticking around with me. Sorry for getting too excited and just making an ass of myself. But if you're not used to that by now, We should be. Thank you all. I'm going to play you a outro song that's way too long. But if you're watching on YouTube, stick around because I recommend you a little video at the end and then to give you an opportunity to subscribe to me for no other reason than to give these people who make these songs more money because I don't get any and that's fine with me. I just really want to pull these apart and learn something. And now, after 22 of these, I'm sharing them with you as well. And I think that it's really good. Have a listen. I mean, suspend your disbelief. I'm not here to shit on anyone. I'm not here to try and steal anything. I just want to learn something new, and the best way to do that is to, in all your problems in life too, let's turn this into a counselling session, to break everything down into its components and then figure out what each one's doing, and then figure out where the problem is, or figure out what you like. Figure out why it becomes a massive, massive hit, like Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier. Until then, GFY, enjoy yourselves, and yeah, drink a glass of water if you can't have a juice fit by Banks Brewing.